Rocket League is a game that can't be really compared to anything else, and you will find that you can transfer many skills from previous games into this one. However, don't let this discourage you. It is true that Rocket League, just as any other skill-based competitive game, requires investing time into learning by repetition and proactive thinking. But you will surely keep improving just by playing, even if you don't do any active effort on getting better at the game. The main difference will be the time it takes for you to improve. Let me tell you that this information I'm going to explain might be useful for people in higher ranks than bronze, but if you are bronze and you practice this, you will be out of it in barely a few weeks and you will have an easier time to don't struggle on silver ranks. So without further ado, welcome to the first episode of the series, How to Get Out of Bronze in Rocket League. There are two main skill sets in Rocket League, just as any other game. First one is Game Sense. This is a basic understanding about how the game has to be played, strategy, decision making, and positioning. The second one is Mechanics, and Rocket League is definitely one of the most mechanically intensive games I've ever played. This has to do with how precise and efficient we are pushing buttons to do certain actions, and involving both how we control the car and how we control the ball. Remember that what is going to actually get you out of bronze is getting experience at the game, but having a basic understanding of very basic concepts like the ones I will be explaining will make the process easier. I won't be explaining more advanced information about the topics mentioned that just belongs to a higher level of gameplay. So don't think what I'm going to show you is the only way of doing things. It is just a basic explanation of basic concepts that might not be intuitive to learn if nobody has ever shown it to you. On the game sense side, I'm going to show you 4 different concepts. These are basic positioning, basic rotations, boost management, and keeping and gaining momentum. Now, on the mechanic side, we are going to talk about basic kickoffs for lower ranks, basic hits on the ball, using Powerslide, and using ball cam and car cam. I've talked about some of these mechanics very briefly on my 5 tips for new players and 5 mechanics for new players videos. So check them out if you want to get some more info about this and other topics that might be useful for you as well. On its concept, I will explain which are common mistakes you might be doing, how you should be doing it, and what you can practice to get better at it. Let's talk about positioning. There are many things that we can talk about when it comes to positioning, but I'm going to focus on 2 aspects that are key on lower ranks. First, we got a concept that is actually one of the most important on any rank. Reads. Reading how the ball is going to bounce is essential if we want to get our car in an advantageous position. All rebounds follow the same rules, but not all of them can be read easily. There are 3 factors that are important when reading bounce: the speed of the ball, on which angle the ball is hitting a surface, which also determines at which angle will bounce off that surface, and gravity. Also, remember that surfaces that aren't flat, the rebound is harder to read because the angle on which the ball is gonna bounce off can't be predicted as easily. The practice drill you can do for getting better at reading bounces is jumping into free play and hitting the ball with power against the wall. Try to ball chase as much as you can. This is something that players at every rank do, and it helps incredibly with many other skills like power shots and speed. Second topic we are going to discuss is spacing. Rotating, which we will discuss later, is one of the easiest ways of keeping adequate spacing between you and your teammates. But let's see some common situations that you should recognize to be sure you keep the right distance to your teammates. As we can see here, all 3 players on the blue team are close to each other, which makes priority on following up the ball confusing. That leads to doing a double commit. Double and triple commits should be avoided every time we can. After the double commit, all 3 teammates continue being together, which makes one of them miss-touch the ball, allowing the orange team for the counterplay. And here we can see how all the right side of blue team is undefended while they clamp in the corner, which could have resulted in a goal for the opponent. This last example of bad spacing is very common on lower ranks. Look at this, all 3 members of the orange team went for the clear on the corner, leaving a great opportunity for the opponent. Just as before, a triple commit on the midfield allows the opponent to have a free chance to score, and now they end up doing it. Now, let's see an example of good spacing. As you can see here, all 3 teammates are spread out on the field, so they can reach the ball if the opponent clears it after they attack. Good spacing allows a team to challenge and be ready for defending at the same time, keeping a nice flow and avoiding double commits. When a ball bounces off a wall, or it's cleared or dribbled by the opponent, there are many outcomes possible, and good spacing allows to cover many of those outcomes. For example, here when one teammate goes for the dribble to clear the ball, the second man stays in net, waiting for a possible 50-50 that could go towards their net, and allowing the third man to pick up boost and joining either the offense or the defense after that possible 50. Next, I'm going to talk about basic defensive rotations. It is true, you won't need rotations until higher ranks, and not because knowing how to rotate isn't useful, but because lower ranked teammates won't know how to rotate, and rotations only work if everyone at least tries to don't bump into each other or triple commit on every ball. However, there are some basic concepts that are key for rotating that you should learn and apply from now on. In lower ranks, the most common mistake is just following the ball anywhere it goes instead of trying to cover the most space in the field possible. If you stay close to the play after you already have done a challenge or a 50-50, the most likely outcome will be one of your teammates going for that ball at the same time you are already there, which will result in 2 players out of the play. Let's see how easily this can be fixed. First and most important are far post rotations. Rotating to a far post position is advantageous because how much easier it is to save a ball that is going on target, and because you can literally cover the whole net, both saving momentum or standing still. On the contrary, not all the balls can be saved from a near post position, and you might find that if you defend from a near post, the ball will get scored behind you many times. Near post defending is also a valid strategy though, but it's only useful in some specific situations. When rotating on defense, most of the time you should be rotating wide, or in other words, rotate to the opposite side of the play that is going on at the moment you are turning back. This will allow you to rotate far post easily and will avoid bumping into your teammates that are next on challenging or following up the ball. Okay, but when are you supposed to rotate back? Well, it's actually very simple for lower ranks. On higher ranks, it gets a bit more complicated, but in bronze, you should just rotate back after challenging a ball and missing, or after doing a 50-50 and losing most of your momentum. If you do that, you are giving space and a visual clue to your teammates that are behind, waiting for their opportunity to go for the ball. Now, I'm going to explain some basic tips I always give my friends when they start playing Rocket League. Momentum! It's a very important part of Rocket League. Being able to keep speed is vital for reaching good positions, both offensive and defensively. Very useful to keep up with the pace of the game and for making rotations smoother and potentially outplay players that don't have momentum or have to kill it to challenge you. Let me show you the different ways of getting supersonic speed. First one is using full boost. By full boosting, you can get to supersonic speed after using less than 40 boost. Second one is boosting and flipping. If you boost and flip, just as when you are doing a kickoff, you will get to supersonic faster without using as much boost as when you don't flip. Finally, you can get to supersonic and keep supersonic speed just by flipping twice, so keep this in mind because it can save you a lot of boost, and you can get to the desired position without using any. Let's get into boost management. Boost management is not about saving boost by not using it ever, or having the boost bar always full. It's about being efficient when you use it and having a close to optimal pathing around the map so you can be the most amount of time at supersonic speeds with the most amount of boost in your tank. Poor boost management makes the player go out of the way so they can pick a big boost pad, many times leaving an offensive rotation or not being able to save an opponent's shot into net. I'm going to show you 3 boost management related notions that you need to at least know and be conscious while you play so you get better at it. First of all, you have to know that the moment your card leaves stress behind it, you have reached supersonic speed, and you should stop boosting right away. You will keep being at supersonic speed for some seconds. Any boost you use while at supersonic speed will be wasted, so be very aware when you get supersonic and stop boosting immediately. As we saw earlier, you can keep supersonic speed just by flipping forward, not having to use any boost, so take that into consideration too. Second notion is that you don't need to have 100 boosts to do most of the things you can do. You can save any ball that goes in net with as little as only one small boost pad if you have some momentum, and 24 boosts if you are standing still. You can reach the ceiling using only 59 boosts doing a double jump aerial, the equivalent of 5 small boost pads. You can go from your net to the opponent's net using only 72 boosts or 6 small boost pads doing a fast aerial. It's true that efficiency at using boost and performing different mechanics is something that you will gain with time and practice. But this is just an example so you can understand that you don't need to go pick up a big boost pad every time your boost bar goes down from 100. This also brings us to the third and last notion about boost management. If we take a look at the field from above, you will see that there are 28 small boost pads around the field. There are lines of small boost pads that go virtually everywhere in the field, and every pad gives 12 boosts, so if you manage to keep your momentum through your pathing on the field and keep going over small boost pads, you can be without boost for very little time. Let's see some different paths that people use to get boost and get to desired position just so you get an idea. The fastest way to get from one net to the other is just go straight, picking up potentially 6 pads and getting 72 boost. You can do a curved path of around 6 boost pads while both rotating back on defense and going for the attack. In the small area next to your net there are 6 pads, one being just next to it and being really handy for a fast reaction save. And you can also do a circular path around your net to get 3 or 4 pads while your teammates are challenging the ball on the corner and you have to get back to back versus defensive rotation. There are many other combinations of pads and most of the time you will pick them up unconsciously just by looking really quick at which pads are available next to you. So remember to just don't leave a good position because you feel like you need boost, going up for a big boost pad, when there are many other options available most of the time. With this, we finish the game sense part. Before we dive in mechanical tips, remember that I stream every day on Twitch. You can join and ask any doubt you got about the game. Also, you can join my community on Discord. You'll find all the links down in the description. Now, let's start talking about mechanics that you can start practicing and using right away. First thing I want to explain is how kickoff etiquette works. And then I'm going to show you 2 ways of winning kickoffs very consistently on low ranks, or at least don't lose them hard so you can avoid getting scored after every single kickoff. There's an unwritten rule called left always goes that many people use, and it's kind of common knowledge, so you can start by just going for the kickoff if you are the player that is more to the left of the field, either spawning on this position or in this one. As many unwritten rules, this is actually not the best way of going to the kickoff. Many people don't know the rule or just ignore it, so the best way in my opinion is using quick chat, and I got it should indicate that you are the one going for the ball, and that your teammates should cover other positions, either cheating mid for being first on the rebound or going to the corner boost. On the other side, if you say take the shot, this will tell your teammate that you aren't going for the ball, and that he or she should go. Don't be mad at your teammates if even when you tell them you are going, they double commit on the kickoff, or they don't go when you tell them to go. You are aware of this now, but they might not know kickoff etiquette at all. And even in my rank, there are some people that are unaware of this, so just use it as a way of minimizing the chances of losing a kickoff, not as a rule that is 100% gonna be followed by everyone every time. Let's see how definitely not to do a kickoff now. Many players at lower ranks are going to do two different kinds of kickoffs that are vastly inferior. First one is just boost towards the ball, and without jumping or flipping, hit the ball from underneath. Look at this, the ball just flies over the car like if it's using it as a ramp. Second one is basically doing the same but flipping just at the end and hitting with the top part of the car. Flipping too late also will lose you a lot of kickoffs. It's crazy how little effort you have to do in lower ranks to don't hard lose kickoffs. You don't really have to know any advanced mechanic whatsoever, so let's take a look at what you can do to improve your kickoff from now with very little to no effort. First kickoff you should learn is boosting and flipping at the end, but this time you are going to do it like if you were playing pool. Your aim is to hit the ball with the front part of the car hitbox doing a front flip or a front diagonal flip after boosting all the way until you get to the ball, and hitting the ball on the middle, not underneath, with your flip. This is just slightly superior to the wrong kickoffs I just showed you, but considering how bad and inconsistent low-level kickoffs are, this minimal change will make you win a lot of them. It looks pretty simple, right? Well, let's try to make it just a bit more difficult. Second kickoff is so powerful that you will be able to use it until hitting champ ranks and still win a lot. You need to boost, front flip, land just before hitting the ball, and then front diagonal flip into it. It looks pretty simple, but it requires some timing. Just keep practicing at your matches and you will get it. Let's talk about basic hits on the ball. In bronze, hitting the ball with intention towards a specific direction, usually towards the opponent net when we are attacking or cleaning it off our net when in defense, will be enough to give you a lot of wins. For getting a decent level of consistency when hitting the ball, as I explained in 5 most useful tips for new players, something I always recommend to my friends when they are new to the game is just doing at least once a day each the rookie striker, goalie, and aerial training packs. If you have any trouble doing the rookie levels, this means it's just the perfect practice for you and you will experience huge improvement just by doing this. If you can do the rookie training packs without any trouble, go for the pro level. If you combine this practice with some free play sessions, you should get very decent at hitting the ball compared to other bronze and even silver players. Try to hit the ball in different ways. For example, when the ball is on the ground, if you don't jump or flip and hit it underneath, the ball will go up, which is very useful to outplay opponents and set up aerials and passes. If you flip into the ball, you will keep the ball grounded, also being very useful if we want to follow up the ball and control the play, or if the opponent has pre-jump or hit trying to do a dunk. For volleys and half volleys, you should flip into the ball hitting slightly underneath. You can also practice this in free play every time the ball is going to bounce off the ground, or just before it. On the aerial training packs, try to jump once, boost towards the ball, and flip at the end, hitting the ball with the front part of the car hitbox. When the ball is higher, usually people use double jump aerials or fast aerials, but you don't need to learn this yet. Now, let's talk about power sliding. One thing I noticed when my friends started playing Rocket League is not that they didn't know how to use power slide, it's that they didn't know when to use it. We have already seen a very common situation where using power slide is useful. When we talk about basic defensive rotations, just after a challenge on where we have to turn around and rotate fast, power sliding and boosting is the best option most of the time, both for being at a good position and for getting back to the play as soon as possible. Another common situation is when getting to our own net, not using power slide to position our car facing the current play, and then usually the player that is in that position does this back and forth motion that is just not good, handicapping the reaction time and reducing the chances of doing a successful save or challenge. I'm going to show you a couple of drills so you can get better at power sliding. First drill consists of, in free play, going towards the ball in the middle and holding power slide until the nose of your car is facing the ball. Repeat this for a few times until you feel comfortable doing it. You can do the same motion but going towards your own net and tapping break at the end when you reach the far post if you think you should reduce your momentum, or just keep going forward after doing a sharp turn if you're the next player that has to challenge the ball. Now, let's add a bit of difficulty power sliding during most of the turn around the ball, and just before the nose of your car faces the ball, hold boost and go towards it. This is the fastest way of turning around, but it's more advanced and requires practice and perfect timing. This last drill can be used when the back of your car is facing the ball, but we feel we can reach it faster than our teammates and we have enough boost for following up any potential play. So don't be shy and just do a sharp turn and challenge that ball. Last mechanical tip is going to be how to use ball cam and car cam. Many players don't ever turn off ball cam, and I've seen this even on players up to champ ranks. But since it's a skill that is essential for doing many things, from dribbling the ball to doing very precise shots and air dribbles, it is just better if you learn this now, because in the future you will have a way easier time applying camera switching to any other mechanic that you want to learn. I'm going to tell you just a basic concept about when to use car cam. This is a very general idea, so use it with a grain of salt and be aware that it's very situational, but it should work as a base idea. Usually, car cam is used when we don't want to hit the ball away. For the contrary, many times we want to be close to the ball, so we can force a 50-50 or outplay the next opponent by driving the ball towards a place they might feel uncomfortable going to. So if, instead of hitting the ball away, you want to keep control on it, you should turn off ball cam. There are two things I recommend newer players to do to both get the feel of it and to recognize situations they should switch from one camera to the other one. First one is just to dribble the ball really close to your car around the field in free play. Once you get some speed, go back to ball cam, hit the ball towards the wall, and when the ball bounces off, switch to car cam really fast so you can keep driving close to the ball. Don't worry if it's too difficult at first, you can do it at slower pace. Speed is something you will get with time and practice, but you need to learn the basic way of doing it first. Second one is to watch your favorite Rocket League streamer and pay attention when they are using both cams, and try to emulate it on your own matches. I learned this way and I think it's very good because there are many situations which aren't really intuitive when it comes to camera use. And this is it for this guide on how to get out of bronze. I'm sure you will be reaching silver very soon if you apply all this knowledge you just got. And I'm 100% confident that many of these concepts will be useful too if you get to a higher rank. I really hope all this information has been useful for you. Stay tuned for the future guide that will be coming up soon on how to get out of silver ranks, and also on the videos I'm working on to provide you with the best training packs you should use on every rank. And if you think I should make specific guides for any of the concepts mentioned on the video, tell me in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time, and see you soon.